Hi, Adam. Hi, Mary. How are you?
Good, good. How are you?
Good.
I'm great. Welcome, everybody, to the Power Hour of Self Care. And we're doing things a little different. Adam is actually the host, and I'm showing as a guest. I don't know if it shows on that side, but anyhow, the topic today that I was dearly influenced by is all about burnout. So a lot of self-care issues revolve around that. And so I went and did some investigations into it. And I actually have a short reading I want to do for you guys and the viewers. It's actually so connected, it's not even funny. Wait till you hear it. All right. This is how the universe is in synchronicity. Where's my glasses? Okay. So, August 31st, and this book I usually read out all the time is Positive Quotes for Every Day. And it says, "The power of learning. Education, clear and simple, is power." That's by Hill Harper. "The more we know about the world, the more power we have. Knowledge makes us useful. It can even make us indispensable. For example, if we are one of the few people with significant historical, economic, scientific, or engineering knowledge and understanding, others will look to us for help and guidance. There are all different types of knowledge. Some people learn by experience, others by schooling. Whatever kind of knowledge you have, use and expand upon it." And then it gives you a little exercise to do. And it says, "Today I will expand my mind. I will pick a topic of interest and research it at the library or on the internet." So that's exactly what I did. Well, I actually did the research yesterday on um, burnout. And the um, the person I chose, or basically it chose me because I was in my emails and I clicked on the Deepak Chopra, and he had some um, links to various doctors and psychologists that talk about different things. So I came across this article, and her name is, and she's a holistic psychiatrist. Her name is Casey Budd, and she's an MD, and she is on the Chopra webpage. So she has this very deep professional passion and goal, and is really invigorated about um, doing, a lot about helping people with burnout. And she's gone through it twice herself, and she gives tips and outlines about how to deal with burnout. And I thought, what a great self care topic, right? Because lately I've been hearing a lot from ourselves, myself,
Mm,
about feeling burned out, right? And what does it really mean to feel burned out?
yeah.
So, first of all, excuse me, but I'm a little bit dry because of my cold I have. First, she goes into identifying burnout. Okay, so what does burnout look like? I'm sure to each of us it's a little different, but she gives a synopsis, and she says burnout is a lack of control, dysfunctional workplace dynamics, poor work life balance, insufficient support, unclear expectations, and unstable or overly monotonous work environments. So she's categorized it as that, right? So that's her view of what it is. And I'm going to ask you later on, what does it look like for each of you? Or how do you experience it, right?
Mm,
So it's characterized by feelings of depletion or exhaustion, a sense of distance from or cynicism towards one's job, or reduced professional efficiency. Some symptoms are depression, of course,
yeah.
poor sleep, loss of enjoyment, trouble concentrating, low mood. I'm famous for that. I get into a very low mood. Um, Frequently occur alongside burnout. So she talks about maintaining equilibrium during periods of stress, challenge, and trauma. Okay, and then she goes into resilience. So maybe start with, one of you can start. What does burnout look like to you?
I'll let you go, Mary, if you want.
Burnout looks like to me is totally out of my routine. Um, Taking not, not any kind of focus on myself and rushing around doing everything for everybody else. My biggest part of what I experience when I burn out is I tend to over research. I expand things bigger than I'm able to take care of at the time. Um, I also have a tendency to get wrapped up in helping others so much that uh, the focus is off the charts in a different directions, and so for me that leads to a lot of triggers and negativity and stuff. And so once I've found myself going down the negative path, I start to realize very quickly that the the burnout has become real, and it's just a matter of re relax, reset, refocus, and regenerate. And so that's where I'm at when I try to not get to that point, because I can be being a military veteran, I'm very snappy and I can be very crude. So once I start noticing it, I have to correct it so I don't get to that point.
Right. How about you, Adam? What does burnout look like for you?
Definitely. I can't echo Mary's words enough. There was that, and it's practically exhaustion. And also what you said about the chopper, where lack of communication within yourself and your colleagues. That's how it is. Lack of support. You name it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if she goes into then, I guess you guys also covered how do you experience it, because that was my next question, but you did share how you experience it. Myself, what it looks like is I start to feel sometimes anger comes up because I know I'm not looking after myself. Burnout can be when I try to juggle too much for others, especially like how Mary said. And a lot of burnout will happen for me personally. It's a lot around trying to accomplish too much all at once. And I'm famous for doing that. Like I'll have the podcast. I sell stuff for my father-in-law, Whirlybirds. I'm trying to sell my coloring books and cards. I'm doing markets. I'm helping my father-in-law with his health. Like I am go, 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 go. And eventually I'll hit a wall. And what I experience the first time for me is I start to feel like something's not quite right. I'm not feeling happy. I'm feeling like I want to stay on the couch. The depression starts to set in. And immediately I start to recognize I've got too much going. And then I might swing way the other way and stop doing everything. But normally what happens when I have burnout is I get ill, right? So that's a sure sign for me that I'm having a burnout.
Yeah. Well, that's like with us as well. With obviously with the warriors, making sure the house is clean, making sure my marriage is okay, making sure my mental health is all right, all while raising two SCN kids.
Yeah.
Well, and I think the biggest thing for me is when I realize I'm getting towards the burnout stages, I literally I quit listening to the people that matter most.
Yeah.
My middle son loves when he comes home from work. He's just like my youngest son. He needs a half hour time just to talk to mom. Okay, that's cool. But when you start ignoring him, or you're too much involved in your phone, or so dreaded into thought that you ignore the one person that truly needs your attention at that time, And so that's my biggest cue is when I don't listen to my own family members. So
Yeah, that's really. Thank you for sharing that, because that's really huge. I think in a lot of people, we shut down. We go from like we're burned out, and then it's shut down mode to self-preserve.
Yeah.
Yeah, or we withdraw, and we withdraw from the things that are most important to us, which is strange in reality, because why would you give up the things that are most important to you when you have a burnout? Wouldn't you think that would give you more pleasure? But it's actually doing the opposite. It's causing you frustration.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
yes, I think the things that cause the burnout that are outside of the family, you're so entwined in that you can shut that off to a point. You can't shut your family off, but you also can't ignore them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about balance.
Pardon?
It's all about balance.
Yeah, and actually that's what she goes into next. I loved her article. It was beautiful. So she talks about enhancing resiliency. So that helps you protect about burnout. So she says some suggestions. She says it gets down to thoughts and perspectives, habits and behaviors, and then she says herbs and supplements. So these are the things that we have to focus on when we have burnout. So the perspective is you want to figure out, why is the burnout happening? Okay. What's your role in making yourself unhappy? Right. So she takes it from being from the outside influences to your inner influences. Right.
Right.
So are you working too much? Are you having problems at home? Is your current job not connected to your purpose? Things like that, right? And she says in some cases, we're actually very passionate about what we do, i.e. the mental health warriors, right? So, but the putting in too many long hours, she says other people are excessive time and energy into jobs they don't really care about. But she says it's important to discover if your burnout is driven by a mismatch between your current job and your true passions, or is it related to other factors? So she's trying to get us to understand whether it's connected to what we're currently doing, or if it's or another related factor, right? So for me, I have a lot of related factors, because for me, my family, no matter how much I need money, no matter how much I need health, I seem to always gravitate towards making my family first, which I think is a very important thing. But when you start to swing that way too far, you totally get out of balance.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's a fine line between faith, family, and friends. And faith can be however you believe in stuff. You know, a lot of times with our faith my faith, it's, grounded in God. But on the same hand, if you're truly grounded that direction for myself, then it should involve your family, and it does. And so if you're not grounded, and that's why I try to keep the 3 F's, the faith, family, and friends, in perspective. Okay. And some family, and I'm sure you guys are the same way, is some family is literally like friends, or have pretty much become family because for whatever reason, family has decided to not be family.
Yeah.
And so I've had that perspective yanked out from under me a few times, and you know what? I'm at a point where I'm okay with that. So
Yeah. But what about you, Adam? Does family, is there factors related to what's happening at home? Or
Definitely. Yeah. It all goes back to the lack of support and the balance. You have to find the both, find the balance and then find the triggers as well at the same time. And obviously with those, we literally have no support around us. We had a friend stay with us over the weekend, which was amazing, because then me and Kerry got to have a couple of hours break from the kids, which was brilliant. But obviously, do we think we're going to get a next time? Yeah, but we don't know when. But obviously, because me and Kerry never had self care while she was here, obviously Kerry went upstairs, I stayed downstairs. We had a bit of us time, and she would text me saying, "Have you had enough self care?" And I went, "No, I haven't. I still want me time because I've got all this time to make up for." And
Yeah.
that's it. She respected my decision, which was brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, and it really does come down to, like when I was going through a lot of mental health issues, it all came down for me when I really started to feel burned out.
Yeah.
I had to put those boundaries there.
Yes.
Like as much as my kids were needing me, I was just bombarded with. I had to shift priorities a lot. A lot of times when it comes to burnout, it's like, okay, what can I put on the back burner
Yeah.
that can simmer? So I would put, like, say, my boyfriend. I'd go to him and say, okay, look, I'm overwhelmed. And he's usually the first one to point it out to me, too, as a matter of fact. And so can I just focus now on just my children and I'll come back to you? And you know what? It's amazing how compassionate people can be about if you voice your concern, right? And I think
Yeah.
that's a lot of understanding where to balance life for you, like faith, family, friends, right?
Yeah,
My
because that see, with us raising two SEN kids, we know how needy they can be and how attention seeking. But we always say it's all about back to boundaries again. Where like I'm constantly saying, and I don't feel selfish for saying it, but I always say to them, my life, my health is more important than you. Like I always say I love them, but if I can't look after myself, how can I look after them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she goes into, um, it's also very critical to have compassion for yourself,
Yeah.
right? I actually have something beautiful that I want to share with you. This is one of my cards. Can you see it?
Yeah.
There's a glare, but there. Okay. This card is called Self Compassion. So I'll read it to you. Self compassion. Yes, it's okay. Take a day off, a walk in a forest, walk your dog, run by the lake, or a talk with a friend, time alone. It's wonderful too. What's good for you? Only you know what that is. Explore and embrace all that self love can do. You deserve this, and this is always true. So, I mean, if there is one of the most important things I think there is in the world is self compassion, and I know from my own experiences with beating myself up over burnout that I didn't apply self compassion.
Yeah.
I didn't understand what self compassion was.
Yeah,
Now you
Seriously. Yeah,
a lot
that'd
of
be
people
cool.
think it's very selfish.
Yeah, but on the same hand, I have two ladies that actually helped me publish my books, and both of them are trauma therapists, and they're like, you don't know what self compassion is. You literally talk about it all the time, but you don't know what it is for yourself. Nope, sure didn't.
Yeah, and as we learn, right,
Hmm.
it takes time to put them into practice. And she talks about, fundamentally, burnout is a self care crisis.
Yeah, it is.
It is. And it's a point where we've fallen away from taking care of ourselves so far that we're in burnout. So that's why we get ill. That's why we get angry. That's why we get fearful and all that kind of stuff. All right. Some of us really do have more sensitive or fragile systems, she says, right? And we can't thrive in every environment. So if I, like right now, next week, I'm taking on a volunteer job with mindfulness for youth at the youth center, and I'm like really excited about it. But it's now another thing I put on my plate. But I realize, like, I've been through burnout gazillion times, not just twice in my life. Um, I'm sure a lot of us have had burnout more than just twice.
Mm.
And so I started thinking about it. Okay, So how does it come down to priorities maybe? So I used to volunteer at the South Simcoe Arts Council where my books were being sold. So my priority was my father-in-law, and then starting this uh, volunteer job with the youths. So I had to pick something. Something had to give, right? And she goes into that. It's ultimately about being aware enough to say to yourself, I got to give something up. So
Yeah.
I was prepared. I went, and I always do this pro and con list when I'm trying to make a decision. And so on one side, I had South Simcoe Arts Council. On the other side, I had the youth center. So what was the pros and cons for each? And the pros for going ahead with mindfulness classes for youth, well, far outweighed the pros for being in the art center. So I knew that had to give, right? That took me years of teaching myself this.
Mm.
Yeah. Then she goes into resilience ultimately is about balance, like how you said, Adam.
Yeah.
And if you fall out of balance, you quickly become sick, mentally, physically, and spiritually.
Yep.
All right. So she goes into some of the things to talk about that help you. So besides, what I was talking about, letting things go, um, take a day off, like my card suggests. Um, we have what's called us artists. We have what's called an artist day, and so I learned that from The Artist's Way is a book by Julia Cameron, and she helps people basically learn how to bring out your inner artist, how to have um, grow in the area of being an artist, and how it helps you. So we take an artist day, and an artist day is anything like from 2 hours to half a day to full, maybe even a full day, where you just go off and be by yourself. And
Yeah.
that's easy to say, but then in your circumstances, Adam, how do you go off and be by yourself unless Carrie now gets a chance? So it's kind of like alternating. Um, uh,
Yeah. See, when I go to town, obviously, I don't care about the weather. To me, rain is just water. But I purposely walk down, which is it's about a 15-minute walk. But then, whether the bags are happy or not, normally I'll get like a taxi back or something like that. But no, I actually choose to walk back. So then that'll give me the opportunity to refocus my mind, clear whatever unwanted energy I don't want,
yeah,
and go from there. And then when I get back, I'm much happier.
that's great.
Mm.
So she goes into about all these different herbs, actually. And I do practice some of this stuff, right, for my own mental health, because
Same.
as I was learning, I got involved in holistic stuff. I don't practice it to like a great extent, but she goes into a list of different herbs and things like that. If you want this link, I'm more than happy to post it for you.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. And then habits and behaviors that encourage resiliency. So, of course, she goes into yoga, um, meditation. Now, I love this term, and it's just basically what you were talking about the walking. Uh, ecotherapy.
Yep.
You guys know what that is, eh?
Yeah.
So, she says it's close to her heart. It's close to mine too, because that's why I have my greenhouse. But the power of healing of the nature's healing powers and just incredible. Reducing stress, improving your mood, improving anxiety, massage she goes into, and my other favorite, of course, arts, dance, and music, right? Exercise and nutrition.
Yeah.
Healing mind and body from the impact of stress. Burnout is a symptom that life is out of balance. See it as a teacher with valuable lessons to share. And that's why I wanted to share this with you, because it's so valuable to understand that we're human. We take on more than we can, and we get burnout.
We do.
Hmm. So
We
I
do.
I don't
you're
know about you guys. Are you able to see once not not in your normal daily routine with your people that you work with, but can you guys see somebody just by watching their body language and stuff, their demeanor? Can you tell if they're burnt out? That is something that has really caught on because my son's taught
Yeah.
me about body language, but sometimes I find myself watching people by the way they push a cart in this grocery store or something like that. So I don't know if I'm the only creepy person like that or
No, I wouldn't say it's creepy. It's observing with a good heart, and that's your caring side coming out because I do it as well. Ever since I've done my mental health training, I see the community and the world in a different way now.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
the training must open your
it
eyes
is.
like huge.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Well,
can't. But that, yeah, I wouldn't say it's. What did you call it, Mary?
Creepy.
I said creepy.
No.
No, I would agree with Adam. It's totally like being observing of your environment. It's important
I think.
because. Sorry.
Uh, uh, I was just going to say, I think the biggest thing for me is the one thing that having three sons on the autism spectrum as well as myself, and I'm pretty sure my husband is, body language has taught us so much. And so now instead of necessarily talking to somebody, you can literally stand back and watch. And
Yeah.
I don't mean to be disrespectful, but you just kind of sit there and you watch them. And it's the same way with tone of voice and facial expressions
Yes.
for me. It's
Yeah.
like, whoa, I literally don't have to talk to anybody before you kind of get that feeling before they come approach you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of burnout has happened around COVID. There's a lot of burnout about financial stress. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but here in Canada, everything is very expensive.
It is.
And
It is.
yeah, so I'm adjusting accordingly. It's really odd, but I'm doing the opposite. I'm working less, bringing in less money, and uh, spending more. For some reason, I don't have that financial burnout. Now, it could be because I have savings and I do fundraisers and I'm giving like so many, like the giving part for me is giving me a lot of sense of focus. So
Mm.
um, I think a lot of people don't even I don't think people even realize they're in burnout. Everybody's calling it mental illness. And there is different categories, as we know, of mental illness, and you
Yep.
could probably explain more to me, Adam, with your studies. But for me, I think there's just a lot of people, it's more that they're burned out, right?
Yeah. It does sound like you're physically exhausted and mentally, and with all this cost of living crisis, it's not just happening in Canada; it's happening global, even
Yeah,
here, and it's just going to get a hell of a lot worse.
yeah.
But
I was having a really deep conversation with Walter, my boyfriend, earlier this morning, and we got into this huge topic about the how unbalanced the world is,
yeah,
from like the rich and then the poor. And he says, like, I've lived in Argentina and I've seen how the poor live there, and that I know how the poor live here. I mean, I've been on that end of the street, and it's but he's like, Annette, you have no conception of what poor really is. Like, compared to a person in India, we're rich, like literally rich. And I'm like, yeah, so how do we help others? He goes, well, you have to give up stuff. And so, but you don't have to give up everything, because that would cause burnout in itself. I mean, you're not supposed to give up living to help others that are less fortunate than you,
mm,
right? So, but that's part of the reason why we have this show, it's so paramount that we keep talking about mental illness, mental health, mental wellness. And I'm actually meeting the next week with the Canadian Mental Health Association. And it's taken me 4 years to get there because I was so afraid. Mentally, I was not prepared to speak with the go through the door that is going to give me the power to even make the mental health workers even stronger, because I told them about our podcast and the things that we talk about. And she's like, so interested.
Brill.
So I'm hoping that there's going to be more funding, and there's going to be more. She says she's going to promote it. And I'm like huge on getting these kind of topics like burnout, like autism related to mental illness, veterans and illness. Like, all of our shows are so important.
They are.
Yeah. And just so you know, I know some of our listeners have probably heard this. I'm getting ready to drop my actual veterans and autism commonalities. Getting ready to drop that into a training program, and so still collecting research, but still being able to go forward with that. I have, and without divulging too much information, I have a couple opportunities on the table that could really also help our podcasts and stuff here on the Mental Health Warriors. Yeah.
Brill.
So, Adam, Mary, thank you. Adam, your support is coming.
Oh yeah, no.
We dearly love you. We dearly love doing these shows. I can't speak for Mary, but I'm pretty sure she loves it too. And all us warriors are the reason. I don't know I can't just off the top of my head give you a clear definition of warrior, but there's not a minute I don't see myself not fighting for what I believe in. Yeah. I believe in this show. I believe in helping others. This is the most given me this method to give on a platform I've never experienced before. And Mary shared that with me too.
Yeah. Yep. And that's just it. After Adam and I had our issues with my show being a half hour later and stuff. Love you, Carrie, if you're listening. But I shared the same thing with Adam. I said, I've been guest on so many podcasts, and once I started doing a podcast with Adam and Mental Health Warriors and stuff, I have heard the words inspiration, colleague, caring, empathetic. I've heard those words more in the last month and a half that I've been with you guys than I ever have in my life. So you can't take stuff away from that. Yep. Yeah, I see that look on your face, Adam, but it's true. 20 plus years as a retail supervisor and all that. Even my publisher and editor for my book said the same thing. You've never heard those words before? Nope. I barely heard thank you. So thank you.
No, thank you both.
Yeah, I go when I'm out in public and I can't see people smile. They're not smiling.
I know.
Like, the stress out there is real. Like, we're vibrating so low, so much unhappiness, that I think part of our burnout is because we care so much.
Yeah.
Right?
I think also too that you look at what we've been through. Okay, we're heading on 3 years now. Let's just face it. January, February next year is already 3 years. So I'm gonna round up. We're spending 3 years in the pandemic, and the first thing my husband and I said, when we got to that point of what was going on, do you realize this is going to do nothing but cause a world full of powder kegs? And sure enough, here we are. You walk out the door and you walk into a grocery store and it's just depressing.
Yeah. Well, people can't see beyond the fear, right? So,
Exactly.
For example, who could I give an example? I don't know. Something's not jumping out at me. But
fear of moving forward, maybe.
Well, a lot of people are like so stuck
Yeah.
with this, oh my God, I can't financially afford anything, instead of looking for a creative solution, right? So it's like, okay, I can only speak from my own experience. So when I was homeless, okay, I reached out to every single friend I had, and somebody gave me a couch to sleep on. Okay. My mental health was at the lowest of low of low. But I didn't give up, right? It's like, yes, we had COVID. Yes, we're always going to have challenging moments. But I don't understand the psychology, and this would be a good show to have, I think, of why people give up.
Because it's the easiest thing to do. And the biggest thing is fear. Okay, well, let's go back to fear. Fear is the biggest liar you have, but people need to realize that. And I think a lot of times people either won't say nothing, don't smile or nothing because they're fearful of your reaction. If they smile or at least say hello, I think 99% of us are in fear of what could happen, and I think that's another part of being a mental health warrior is switching that narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Adam
Yeah.
and I both agreement at the same time.
Yeah, well, we're living in a diverse universe, but we're trying to bring equality back, where no one's more important than anyone else. We're all simple. I see we're all celebrities. That's how I see us. Well, I do, because at the end of the day, we've all got one thing in common. We're human.
Yeah.
We are human.
I think
One of
you
the
got. I
greatest
think.
things.
I'm
Sorry,
sorry.
go ahead, man.
I think you're mistaken. I bleed green. I think I might be alien.
Gonna check. No, but anyway, no. But I keep listening to motivational speakers like Les Brown and Eric Thomas. And when I was listening to Eric at one point, walking away from school after dropping my daughter off, when we go into crisis, we find things hard. But what we really need to realize is, yes, it's hard, but it's not impossible to move forward.
Right.
Well, the funny thing about the word impossible is I'm possible.
I am possible, yeah.
Yeah. So nothing is impossible. I mean, no, I can't walk through a wall, but your imagination, like I relied a lot. If you ever listen to my live shows on Mo Mondays, I talk about this horse that I used to have. And it was my imagination that kept me going through all the traumas I had. And then when it didn't serve a purpose anymore, it disappeared, right? But I mean, these shows, all the warriors out there, not specific just to us, but all the other warriors out there, people fighting against, or you hear the word against, okay? Cancer, against abortion. I'm hitting a few hot topics here. Against whatever, something that's very controversial. But if you step back and look at it from, what's my role in all of this? Why is there why are we out of balance? Why is there no equality? Right? It's because we fear, like Mary says, we fear, oh my God, I don't have enough money to put food on my plate.
If you want my view on it, where I'm probably going to end up in Facebook jail if I voice this views, but either way, I'm going to do it anyway. I believe we're all living in that fear, and we're all living in this diverse universe, is because it's not just egos, but it's what we've been programmed to believe. Now, look at the education, for example. When grades come in after the end of the year, end of the secondary school, one people's got the higher grade than the other, and the teachers go up to those people with higher grade. That's diverse right there, which I'm against. Yeah. It's like they're getting more attention when really it should be all equal.
Yeah.
Everyone should be getting praised because at the end of the day, it's not about what you get; it's the fact that you've actually tried.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, we all have strengths and weaknesses, right?
we do.
Like I'm strong in one area, like I'm really good at fundraising, but I suck at technical things. Like look how the show got messed up, not being on at 1 o'clock. I'm like, wow. If I don't have Walter with me when I have a technical issue, I suck, and I admit it. Now I could spend years, go to school, and learn all about it, but is it my passion?
The thing is, you only suck if you believe you suck.
Oh no, I believe that.
I don't. No. I think deep down you don't. I don't. No.
The funny thing is, though, if I'm not passionate about something, I won't learn it. I choose. That's the biggest thing. I choose not to learn it. And I think one of my other strengths is to realize that I don't want to invest time and energy into something I'm not passionate about.
But even
Back to burnout. I will burn out.
either way, you say you suck.
About.
You say you suck. You say you suck at technical issues, but thing is, you never quit. You stayed active on it.
Oh yeah, I won't quit. I mean, I just
There you go.
more.
Mary's just laughing at you.
Only because I've been there. I'm laughing with you. But that is one that is one thing I've told myself. I have two boys here that have zero problems with helping me with technology. I got an older son that does it all blindfolded, literally, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm not going to let this podcast kick my butt. We'll do it for 30. We're going to do it for 32 seconds and make Adam delete it later, and come back around and start over again.
Either way, you're only a failure. The day you fail is the day you stop trying.
The day I fail is the day I leave the mental health warriors, and right now I'm having too much fun with this. So
No, but it is true though. It is true though. The day you fail is the day you stop trying.
Yeah.
The day I quit learning is the day I quit living.
Exactly.
Well, I love all subjects. I'm open to talk about any subject because one of the ones I wanted to mention about when you're talking about inequality is countries. Now, John Lennon is one of the most influential people of our time, and he influenced me. And that song, every time I hear it, Imagine, I cry. I still cry because just imagine if there were no boundaries, no countries, no religions. It's one faith, and that faith is love for me. You can believe what you want. I'm never going to tell somebody else not to tell them to believe what I believe. But for me, God is love. Love is God, and I hope for one day that there is world peace. I dream of that, right? That's why I do everything I do.
I'm so glad you mentioned this because I actually had a crystal reading this morning of someone in the Netherlands, and she actually pulled a card for me. Hang on. I don't know if you can see it, but it's...
No, can't see it.
Hang on. Can you not see it?
No.
Hang on. It basically says, come together.
Oh,
Wow.
nice. See how there's so much synchronicity right now? And I was going to do a draw for each of you for a beautiful message to give you enlightenment and feel good. So
I actually wanted to see this card. So I'm going to turn my green screen off for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can show us the card.
Yeah. Hang on. Turn this light off as well. Hey, I'm organized. I'm organized.
There you go.
I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, no.
No, it's called.
There we go. There
it goes. Come together. It's two giraffes with hearts.
There you go.
I love it. Yeah, we do need to come together. How we do it is one soul at a time.
Yeah.
Okay, who wants to go first on a draw for a beautiful inspirational message?
Go ahead, Adam. Ha.
Okay, you're first,
What
Adam.
are we doing? What are we doing?
We're doing a little draw for an inspirational message. Tell me when to stop, okay?
Stop.
Then.
Adam, tell me when to stop. It's gonna make me talk and learn these forever.
Stop.
Okay. What is your message besides coming together today? I accept myself without judgment. Now, can you see that? No.
No.
No. Little bit.
Yeah.
There you go.
Little bit.
I accept myself without judgment. So I'm going to put it back in. So what's your thoughts about that?
Reality. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. All right, your turn, Mary. You tell me when to stop.
Stop.
This is fun. Stop?
Stop.
Okay.
Drum
I
roll.
embrace the union of...
Say it
Did you
again.
hear that?
No.
I embrace the union of energies within.
Yep. I can do that. I do that. I'm one of those people that, goosebumps are amazing and feeling them right now.
Oh, we got to do one for Annette now. Come on.
Oh, okay. I'll do one for myself. Okay.
Stop.
No, I gotta tell myself to stop when it feels right. Oh, there it is. This one. Every day brings me an experience of bliss. I wasn't feeling too blissful when the podcast wouldn't work. Oh, that's beautiful. I need to leave that on my computer.
Yes, you do.
So, so self-care messages for burnout. What would be your message, Adam, to your viewers?
If you're in burnout, take time for yourself. As hard as it is to ignore your family, ignore your friends, ignore social media, it's only a temporary thing because at the end of the day, you come first, no one else.
Yeah. And you, Mary? What would you give people advice for self-care when you're having burnout?
Burnout is real. Self-care is more real. Take the time for yourself. Walk away. Meditate. Breathe. Relax. Reset. Restore. Rejuvenate. And come back.
And burnout is really temporary. Like, if it turns into depression, then of course you're going to need additional support. If you're at the point where, like ourselves as mental health warriors, we clue in when we're starting to have a burnout and we start taking action on it. But there's going to be so many people that are out there spinning, for lack of words, in burnout, not even realizing that there are self-care methods to get out of burnout, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's important to do your research. It's important to educate yourself. It's important to talk to a colleague or a friend or, somebody non-judgmental.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think in the end, my favorite saying, it's not about me, it's about we. Let's get together and join hands.
Yeah.
I agree.
So there's some positive notes for everyone about burnout. And I love the fact that I have the ability to have where years and years ago, I didn't speak up. I didn't say to somebody, I need a mental health break. It's sad but true that on my journey, I've lost friends along the way because I've told them I needed a break. And then you go through grieving a lost relationship. And then I kind of like pick up something else to replace that, and then I start burning out again. But at least now I see my own patterns of behavior.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You wanted to add something to that, Mary?
No, nope. I'm just readjusting my time frames and trying to get some stuff ready to roll.
Yeah.
Nope. I just, it truly is. When you hit that stage of burnout, it's all about you. You need to do it. You need to walk away. You need to detune. I have a big favorite tree I like to go hang out by. And so, but it's 2 miles away. So I don't quite walk over and walk back. I walk over and call for a ride back. So,
like Adam was saying, taking the taxi.
yeah.
Well, I love talking about these topics, and I'm going to do some more research on it and figure out, like I'm doing the stats with the Canadian mental health stats. It's eye-opening. I didn't even know these stats existed. So I've been researching a lot, and I'm thinking of going your route, Adam, and taking some classes.
Awesome. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So I can be more informed, more educated.
Yeah.
And like I see what the people around me closest are going through. We have an aging person in our home. People who struggle with their eating habits.
Yeah.
My kids all, they all just came recently back to Canada, and they're going through their financial troubles. And because you care so much, you wish you could take on more and do more for them. But I wait to be invited. One of the best things my transformational coach said, wait to be invited. That avoids a lot of burnout.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. That wait to be invited. That's a little sketchy, but that's just my that's just my opinion.
On it for you, Mary. The kind of personality I have is because I came from so much trauma with sexual abuse. I picked up habits of pleasing people so that I would get the attention away from me, right? So if they were pleased, they'd go away eventually.
Yeah. I
just saying what needs to be said. One of the habits that lead you away from regret. Yeah, and saying it kindly.
Yeah.
But anyway, so being such a people pleaser, taking on everybody's needs without being asked, when a lot of people resented that, they didn't want me inviting myself into their problems and trying to fix their problems. So that's why I wait to be invited. It's not if I don't see something. Okay, say for example, somebody's treating somebody poorly by speaking nasty to them. I won't say it to them while it's happening, but I will pull somebody aside and say, I heard what you're talking about. However, maybe you could have expressed it. I suggest you express it this way, right?
Sure.
But waiting to be invited isn't like, just putting, it's sort of like trying to be in control of other people's problems. So now I'm just waiting to say, hey, can you help me? Yeah, sure. Kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's funny because, I made that comment and I'm sitting there thinking, and I know myself too well, I'm an extremely patient person. So waiting to be invited would fall under the lines of waiting to be to be a patient, being a patient person like I am. I'm the same person that they'll tell me, hey, we'll get back with you in a week or so. And I don't hear nothing. So it'll be 2 weeks later and I'll be like, so I'm not necessarily the person that's going to jump right in that front door. I mean, it took me 50 years to actually go and translate or to help work on some dialogue for mental and intellectual disabilities at our state capitol. So, and I've only been there one other time. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I don't wait to be invited to get a hold of things I want to accomplish. Now that's a totally different ball game, right?
Yeah.
If I want to accomplish getting like into the Canadian Mental Health Association and talk with people to promote this and promote Learn to Love Myself, my books and stuff, then I did wait for a while, like 3 years is a long time to wait, but it was because I wasn't ready, right? And I'm
That's
totally
okay. That's okay.
yeah, and I'm okay with that now. Now at least I can walk in and say, hey, every year I've been raising this amount of money. This year I raised this, this year I raised this year I've raised this. And I can say, look, I'm growing, I'm expanding. You should, I suggest you help me so I can help you, right?
Yeah.
And it's a win-win situation.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'll probably end up starting to feel a little burnout because I'm taking on a new thing. And then I'll have to go back and look at, what needs to give, and something will give. So I'm not having my burnout.
Yeah, I want to pick on this comment if you don't mind, Annette. And that's from Robert. Now, the one word in there that spots me. You don't have to win friends whatsoever. You don't. Friends
Oh, I
come.
know that book.
Yeah, friends come and go all the time, but I believe the true friends, you will see them if they see you rock bottom and then stay there afterwards. But if they don't, they're not friends.
Well, the definition of win, I would love to read this book and see what it means by the definition of win. Because friends win for me is something like you put money towards and then, or you've done a lottery or something and you win something. That's
Yeah,
like, it's a gain, right?
life is a game.
Yeah, I don't. It doesn't click for me either. The word win with friends. All right. I would say gain. How do you gain friends and influence people? But that's a perspective on words, right?
It
Tomato,
is.
tomato.
You say
Yeah.
game, I say inspire.
Yeah.
To me, it becomes a challenge. If I have to win friends, then I'm out. I am.
Yeah, right.
I'm extremely competitive person, but when it comes to a human being, I'm not going to compete. I've
No.
been through that in my life. I was raised with three brothers, and I was the only girl, so you can
Yeah.
only imagine, And I have three boys and a husband, and I'm still the only girl. Okay, so it's not about in the human part of it. It's not about winning your friendship. What it is to me, if for me, win means okay. I'm winning because guess what? The three of us in here have a lot in common. That's where win comes for me.
Yeah.
Is the
And
three people in this room are winning because our commonalities are mental health. There's
yes.
my win.
And not to take away from Robert, that maybe that book seriously helped him. So thank you for sharing that, Robert.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he says, it's just a title. It disguises what the book truly has to offer. That's what I thought, Robert. It holds the fundamentals of creating relationships that matter. Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
beautiful. I may pick it up. The author of that book is the one who also created Toastmasters. Oh, cool. Well, he's not lacking in any financial books.
Oh, Robert is very knowledgeable on these books. He's very knowledgeable.
Yeah, I'd love to have Robert on as a guest someday.
Reach out to him.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Well, we're hitting the hour mark here.
Yes.
So, do you
Yes.
guys want to wrap things up?
I'm not very good at rapping, but here we go.
Now I do Texas style.
Yeah, and I forgot my hat. I feel funny without it.
I've got
But
three of them sitting here,
I'm
but
so
I didn't
happy you
grab
guys
them.
came on. I'm sorry Andrea missed us. I don't know what happened there.
No, I'll reach out to her.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hope she's fine. I hope it's nothing like family or herself or health or something.
No,
I
I'll go down and knock on her door and sit on her porch. And
You
she
do that.
literally lives 2 miles from me, so I can go check on her too if she doesn't answer my messages. I just think it's a lot. I think she had a little bit of family in town, so
Yeah.
For all we know, she might be experiencing burnout.
She could be.
yeah. After Sunday, 4 hours, and she did a beautiful job. And
Yeah.
so it's one of those where you get that high, and then you do everything, and then you have that. For me, it's a washout at the end. It's like, don't talk to me for a couple hours.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining me, guys, today. And I look forward to I think my next show is on the 10th of September. I have a guess. Yeah, I'll be sending you the details, Adam.
Brilliant.
But I hope everybody will like and subscribe. We're on YouTube and Facebook. We're on Amazon. What is it? The Spotify.
Amazon, Spotify, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, you name it.
Yep. And I'm going to be showing that to Lynn when I see her. So I'm so excited.
No.
Bye for now, guys.
Right.